Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of Get to Know the $100 Heroes. Today I'm going to talk about Psion, the field leader of the heroes. It's basically I'm just going to talk about her. It's the kind of things that I like. I'm going to show a picture. If I can figure out how to get an image, oh, that doesn't look so great. Hopefully I can figure out how to get an image just overlaid over the video with audio behind it. We can look at that instead of this. I know screen on screen doesn't always look great, but like I said, pretty notice. We'll get things figured out as we go. So like I said, Cyan is the field leader of the $100 Heroes. Her whole thing is she uses her psychic powers to kind of keep things moving along during a fight. She is a very powerful telepath, so she has mind control and she can talk to people with her mind. All kinds of things. There's basically she hasn't found the upper limit of her powers yet. Think um, Jean Grey. Maybe not quite so much Professor X. She's not there, but she's powerful. She also has strong telekinetic abilities, so she can move things with her mind. She uses this often to fly, of course, and move people kind of into, or not into, but out of harm's way. Um, One of her favorite tactics during a fight is that she'll fly way up above so she can see everything, and then she'll talk to people that way and kind of direct them. She's very skilled at with strategy and tactics. She knows the best way to use her heroes for the maximum effect. Um, she's really smart, which is why she's the leader, of course. And she's just a little bit older than the rest of the heroes. She's 18 years old, so she's kind of like the old guard, and she constantly thinks about like, oh, should we have these young kids that are like 15, 16, which of course is silly because she's barely any older, but she's so mature and she thinks of herself as like the perfect superhero that she questions whether or not the rest of the team feels the same way. That she feels like what they're doing is the right thing and she needs to go about it the right way, which is, she has a very um, Superman thought process there where it's like it has to be, if it's not done the right way, there's no reason to do it, kind of thing. So she's very much like the lawful good of the group. She will follow any law to the letter because it's a law. It's something that's been decided by people who do this as their job and everything like that. So she's very by the books. You know, the whole like Boy Scout mentality, like people used to say about Cyclops or Captain America, that kind of character where she's really, you have to do it the right way, and then there's nothing else about it. So looking at the picture here again, I'll see if I can get a picture up over the video instead of looking at a picture on a screen from another screen. But she's very much the typical superhero where she wears the cape. She likes the cowl to cover her face. Um, she uses that in a lot of different ways where she has like those red goggles to help mask her emotions because as the leader of a superhero team and everything like that, she feels like she shouldn't really have emotions on display at least. Obviously, she has emotions. She's a person, but she doesn't want anybody to see them, which I think makes for. She probably has the strongest character arc throughout the book because of that, because how she doesn't want people to really get to know her. Um, to the point where we don't even know her actual name until most of the way through the book. She finally reveals to Purge here that her first name is Jessica. And she just is very controlling and very private. The rest of the heroes never see her out of her costume. Even when she's just hanging around in the egg, their HQ, she will be in costume, or she would call it a uniform, of course, not a costume, because she doesn't think of herself as like a comic book character. She thinks of herself as the leader of these people, and I mean she has a lot of responsibility, so she's right to feel like that because ultimately their safety is on her as well, which is a lot for somebody that's only like 18 years old to have to shoulder literally. Um, so it does a lot to Cyan. She's very very private, very strict. The rest of the heroes kind of don't connect with her as well because of that, because of all that responsibility. One of her favorite tactics, the rest of them call a ping. Well, she'll basically snap her fingers psychically in their heads to like get to keep them from being distracted or get them back on task, which happens a lot with Purge because he's never on task. So she'd do a little ping, and they'll kind of go, ah, in their head, and then they'll realize that they need to be doing something different. One of my favorite things about Psion is she doesn't take any crap from anybody. Like, even the big villain of the book, they have a confrontation near the beginning, and she does not show any kind of response, basically. She just kind of shrugs it off. It's okay. She's totally cool about it to everybody else. But of course, she's working with her own things through that. Which I think is one of the more interesting aspects of Psion. She doesn't let anybody see that part of her. But in terms of being a field leader, she does not take any crap from her team. Even Implant, who we'll talk about probably next time because I like him a lot. Well, I like all of them a lot, of course. They're all my favorite characters. And he is very much the cantankerous, kind of like Wolverine, where he's just kind of a jerk most of the time. Hopefully, when people read it, they'll see him as kind of a lovable jerk. But she doesn't bite. Like, he tries to, poke the bear. He tries to give her a hard time, but she doesn't take any of it. She puts him right in his place, and he deserves it, and he understands that, and she's just really good at leading him. So yeah, pretty much that's Psion in a nutshell. She's really, really powerful, being a really powerful psychic, telepath, telekinetic. She can do a lot of different things on the battlefield. She doesn't like to get her own hands dirty. She has not been trained hand-to-hand, which does actually come up in the story. She tries to come up with things to mitigate that, because against the renegades, the kind of the main villain in the book, her powers are pretty much useless. As the slave recallers, we find out, actually block anything telepathic because they already have their brains are already totally controlled. And because of that, her telekinesis doesn't work on them directly. Like, she can't lift up one of the renegades with her powers. So she gets really frustrated throughout a lot of the book because a lot of times her powers don't work, and when her powers don't work, she doesn't have that much more to draw on, she thinks. Like I said, she's very skilled in terms of leading other people, so she can tell the other heroes what to do really well, but she doesn't really respond well to feeling useless or something, which I feel like makes a lot of sense because she wants to be the leader, she wants to be the superhero kind of thing, which we'll see is pretty similar to the main villain, Captain Super. Again, his name's supposed to be silly, that's kind of the point. But again, we'll see that come up, that idea where they want to be like the seminal superhero, the definition of it. And then we'll see how two different people that have the kind of the same ideology go about it a different way. So one more time, here's Psion. This is the basic look for the suits with the blue and the black, and some piping throughout it. Nobody else covers their face like Psion. We're trying to get this to go straight. And nobody else wears a cape, but again, she wants to look like a superhero. So that's it for this week. Well, this week. I'm hoping to make this weekly, but obviously I didn't get off to a good start. So we'll see if we can do better in the future. But that's Psion. She is, again, one of my favorites because they're all my favorites. She's the field leader, and that's pretty much it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Again, if you have any kind of questions, anything else you want to know more about, check the links below. We've got links to the blog page about it. I haven't updated in a long time, but a lot of information is there. The Facebook page that has all kinds of information and pictures, different characters I'll be talking about in the future. Actually, the whole book is now online on Inkit.com. I'll add a link for that, and I'm also posting it slowly, bit by bit, on Wattpad for people to check out as well. So there are ways to get the story and everything without waiting for who knows how long until it's actually published. Like I said, the actual book is in revision stage. I'm having people beta read it. It's just taking a bit longer than I hoped, and then hopefully I'll be querying it soon, and we'll see how it goes. So other than that, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment, questions, anything like that. You know what to do. Type on your computers, boop, 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 and let me know. So yeah, thanks a bunch. See you next time.